Alright everyone, Marco Palmero, founder of Ulysses in Dubai, and in this video I want to discuss with you how we are able to help companies source deal flow in the United Arab Emirates and in the Middle East with a predictable system that we created at my company Ulysses. So fundamentally in this video I want to walk you through the steps that we follow when we source, qualify, and introduce deal flow to other businesses that might be interested in acquiring companies, buying businesses, investing in businesses, or maybe just find opportunities that are available for sale or for investment in this particular region. So I got my notes here just to avoid forgetting something. And before we actually dive into this, let me just break down who is this for? Well, fundamentally, if you are a business leader, an entrepreneur, or even an investor, or to some respect, a M&A firm or a private equity firm, this is for you. Because one of the things that we realized as we were in the process of going through deals here in the region was that it was actually very, very hard to come by deals that were actually very good, that were suitable transactions. Yes, there was a lot available in the market, but not all these deals were actually solid opportunities, and in most cases they were just a waste of time. In addition to that, the referral systems and all the relationships that you need to build to find those deals complicated the process a lot. And I quickly realized as I was going through this process that we needed to find a way to build a proprietary deal flow system, a pipeline, so to speak, so that we can tap into opportunities that were off market, that were not accessible to everyone, and that we could actually control from start to finish. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. So the system that I'm going to discuss with you is called BAF, or Business Acquisition Formula. And this fundamentally a way we design to win when it comes to originating deals and finding opportunities here in the region. Now, we built this system in two separate ways. We had our experience on the ground that really helped us in collecting data and information on what were the best possible ways to find deals, but also we have 150 years of experience in our team. Most of my partners spent 35 years in the Middle East. So we had both the background information and the data, because we were doing work on the ground, that combined really enable us to crack the code, so to speak, and build this business acquisition formula that delivers off-market deal flow opportunities to us and everybody else that wants to work with us when it comes to deal origination and deal sourcing. Now, let me give you a couple of examples which I got listed here that hopefully can drive this point home. The first one is a hospital business that we helped in sourcing 20 off-market deal opportunities in the UAE and in the Middle East. In this case, the hospital was looking to expand his business. They already had quite a few locations, quite a few hospitals, but they wanted to find more here in the Middle East, and their ticket size was between 25 and $250 million. Now, we found 20 opportunities for them over the course of 6 months, and I want to emphasize one thing here. We are talking about opportunities that were matching all their acquisition criteria. So those were not just introductions to deals that might have been a good fit for them, because what we did was sourcing, qualifying, and then introducing the deals, which basically means that we found what their acquisition criteria were, their KPIs, so to speak, and then we filtered targets down before actually introducing them to the hospital group. So fundamentally, the 20 opportunities they got were 20 deals they could pull the trigger on because they were excellent from all perspectives. Now, second case I want to talk with you about is a local business in the UAE that we helped sourcing 15 of these deals because at the time the business wanted to double in size, and he realized that it was actually hard to do that internally. So they decided, okay, why don't we find a business that is exactly as big as we are? We acquire it and we double our size. And in that particular case, they were targeting deals between 1 and 25 million. I would say closer to the $20 million mark, but they were comfortable with deals within this range. Lastly, before we move forward, we helped an international M&A firm from Europe finding deals here, to be more specific, 26 opportunities across different sectors that they wanted to acquire to diversify their portfolio. In that particular case, we were talking about sector agnostic companies, because this M&A group was sector agnostic, so we were not focused on a specific niche or a specific industry, and the ticket size were between $3 and $15 million, so actually quite small. Now, before we actually move forward and I explain to you what the deal flow process is all about, I want to talk with you about the problem and take a little bit of a step back, because as I mentioned to you, finding deals is becoming increasingly hard, and there are many reasons for that: competition, lack of effective referral system, lack of information. All these things are making deals in the Middle East quite complex. And even when you get access to solid opportunities, in most cases you still are struggling because you don't know if the information that is shared with you is going to be accurate. So there are a lot of complexity that we had to face and that we kind of solved, so to speak, because now we can clearly understand what we need to look for in a deal and what is actually working, so that we can filter them down correctly. And fundamentally, this strategy helps people find and solve problems that will cost them a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of human resources. That's fundamentally the concept and the process that we follow. When you look at the deal process, origination generally takes quite a bit of time, and it's a expensive process that companies need to go through. And in most cases, they don't have the capabilities to focus so heavily on that process. Maybe they're very good at negotiating and closing deals, but they don't have all that infrastructure to build that deal flow pipeline. Now, we created a system that can solve that initial problem for them, or for you in this case, and let you focus on what you do best, which is negotiation and closing. And that's, again, the solution that I want to discuss with you today. A proven system that fundamentally creates a deal flow pipeline outside of your business that we run on your behalf, and then delivers, opportunities to you. Now, how does it work? Well, let's talk about 4 steps just so that we can summarize how the process works. We have targeting, execution, introduction, and then of course deals. Now, if we need to talk about each one of them separately, starting with targeting, I want you to know that the first thing that we always do is to create a bespoke deal flow strategy for all the companies we work with, because of course every single business has different requirements when it comes to acquisition, and you can't really approach it in a cookie cutter way. So we generally do that over an onboarding call of 60 minutes. We go over your KPIs, your acquisition criteria, and based on that, we can create the kind of like tailor-made template that we're going to follow when we go ahead and start sourcing deals on your behalf. Now, once we got that initial roadmap in place, it's time to go down to acquisition and execution, right? So fundamentally, what we do there is we do all the heavy lifting on your behalf. So we do the sourcing, we do the qualifying, and we do the introduction. Everything is 100% done for you. So you don't need to work and you don't need to focus on finding deals. You just need to review what you receive from us, see if that is what you're looking for, and then take control of the deal from there. So in short, the most important aspect of that process is that it doesn't only make us find the deals for you, but it also makes us select the deals so that we have an initial screening done before you actually get involved. So the reason why we do the targeting first is because then we know what is it that you're looking for. We can collect some initial information from the targets, do an initial soft due diligence, so to speak, and only keep the ones that actually match your criteria so that you can have productive discussions and interactions with only real people that are motivated in selling and that are good targets for you. So that is, of course, the overall infrastructure of how we work. There are different ways that we go about sourcing deals. That's, something that we take care of. You don't need to worry about it. The point is, we find deals in a predictable way, and we also focus our attention on keeping the process updated as we progress, because of course this is a process that might take minimum 90 days up to 180 days, and many things can evolve as we work together on this process. So in order to keep everything updated correctly, we work with you on 2 monthly calls to review what we've done in the previous 2 weeks and make sure we are aligned on the strategy, or if there are revisions that need to be made, we can do that together. Of course, you get access to, 7 days a week support via email, but that is just part of the technical aspect of how we work with you once we are in the process. Let's talk about what happens once we have created this whole system, this whole deal flow pipeline for you. Well, of course, there are going to be quite a lot of data that is collected into a data room, which will give you a summary of all the opportunities that are available. Those opportunities will be shared to you, and then we start with the process called introductions, right? If those opportunities are approved by you, we can introduce them to you and let you take control of the deal. These introductions can be made virtually or in person. That's totally up to you. If you wish to visit the target in person, we're happy to be there and help you with that. We generally advise people to do that, especially if they are planning to buy assets in the region, right? It's generally ideal for them to look at the target. But in some cases, we've seen that people and clients don't want to get involved into these types of discussions too early. So they prefer having an initial introductory call. Once we hand over the deal to them, they then keep the process going. And once they decide it's time for them to visit, they make that decision. So that is entirely up to you. We don't have any particular preference on that. Now, as I mentioned before, our minimum time frame for these types of engagements is around 90 days because we see that that is the minimum time to get very tangible results, and we guarantee our results. That's how much we believe in the business acquisition formula. So fundamentally, depending on the industry you're in and the sector that you're targeting, we guarantee you a certain amount of qualified opportunities, or you don't have to pay us, which means we issue a full refund in the case we're unable to deliver that amount of opportunities at the end of the 90 days. And that's because, again, we believe that we can deliver that number of opportunities to you. We're quite confident about it, and so we make this strong guarantee that if we're not able to do that at the end of the 90 days, you will get a full refund. Now, what happens once you're introduced? Well, there's only one thing to do. It's like you can negotiate and close these deals, and that is the step number 4, which is up to you, because we end you off the deals and you can execute on them as you wish. We don't get involved in it so that you can have full control over the transaction. No intermediary, no nothing. Everything is totally in your hands, and you can fundamentally rely on us for the deal flow process, and we will continue, sourcing opportunities and bringing you deals as long as you wish to get them. So this is not something that stops at the end of the 90 days. It's something that is continuous support month over month. And once you decided you're fully satisfied that you got enough opportunities, you can decide to interrupt it. But if you decide that you want to keep it going for 6, 9, 12 months, we'll be happy to support you with that. Now, the process again is quite simple for us. So it's like, in summary, it starts with an onboarding call. Then we take care of all that for you, from that moment on, and you just get updates on a bi-weekly basis. We generally execute an agreement that is pretty straightforward, plus an NDA, because we protect your own confidential information, just in case you're gonna need to share with us some of that. But all the process is kept very confidential, and most of the sourcing that we do is not done, leveraging your own name, but we do it on our own behalf so that you can maintain your interest and your goals confidential. You don't need to expose yourself too early, but you can look at the deals. If the deals make sense, then you can commit to it and step into the game. But until then, you will maintain full confidentiality. And again, really, it's very simple. Once the agreement is signed, we start with the steps that I just mentioned to you, and that is really it. So if you feel that it is appropriate for you to consider outsourcing DealFlow systems for your company, your business, your investment firm, we're happy to take the call. We generally only take a few cases per quarter, because again, given the fact that we do a lot of done for you, we want to make sure we give 100% assistance and very good support to every single client. But provided we have slots available, we'll be happy to take the call and see how we can help you build this DealFlow system for you that will deliver targets on a predictable basis. So if you're interested in finding out more about that, check the link below. There will be a direct form that you can fill out to schedule a time to speak with us, and I look forward to answering your questions on the call.